Very interesting fact. Didn't know that. Let's see what else here. Oh, greetings, American foodies. Tariq and Johnson here. You know, my mind has been thinking about America's most favorite bird to cook with more than any other. And that is, of course, chicken. You know, back in the Middle Ages, chicken has been the most affordable poultry. It's the main star of the so-called white dish, which is the bird with fried onions, cooked in milk, and seasoned with spices and sugar. Sounds pretty good to me. Now, fast forward in time. What do we have here? We got American World War II, where chicken consumption increased due to the shortage of beef and pork. But it doesn't look like it was a very big problem back then. The old historical question that stumps a lot of us. Which came first? The chicken or the chicken egg? Nobody knows the answer for sure, but I know that this bird can be a star of any dinner table. This is the Young Palate. Well, folks, welcome back to my kitchen. Today's special, I'm going to be making chicken Parmesan, but more of my style. So to start is the sauce. Now in this pot, I put over medium heat. I add 2 teaspoons of olive oil. And next to that, I'm going to add 1 small onion chopped. And right in there. Sizzle. I love sizzling. Sizzle. That's the sound I just love to hear. Now we're going to let this cook in the pot until it's nice, soft, and translucent. That's going to take about 5 minutes, or until they look golden. Okay, now the onions look nice and they look soft. Now it's time to add the rest. The aromatics: 2 garlic cloves, minced, fine, if I could get them in there. Now, 2 teaspoons of dried basil. 1, 2, and finally a half teaspoon of dried oregano. Plop, in there. Now I'm just going to stir this for another minute or 2 until the oils of the garlic and the herbs are releasing and you can smell them. If you smell them, then you're on the right track. Now for the start of the sauce, the tomatoes. 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Going to add right in there. And there's going to be a little bit of hissing. Don't let that frighten you. And it's going to start bubbling. Now to add in the seasonings. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Right in there. A 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Just kind of eyeball that in there. And then my secret ingredient. 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. The real stuff. You know, balsamic vinegar is usually found in salad dressings and vinaigrettes, but it's actually very good for tomato sauce. You know, certain Italians traditionally use red wine for their sauce, and here in America, some of us know that red wine and white wine are pretty expensive. So, for a good cheap substitute, we would replace them with vinegars, like balsamic vinegar for red wine. Now we're going to let this bring to a boil until the sauce is nice and bubbling, you know, boiling. Okay, now it's boiling. Now that you can tell. Now we're going to reduce this to a medium-low, so it'll simmer for about 12 to 15 minutes, and the flavors will kind of marry each other right in there. And it'll be nice and thickened This will take about 20 to 15 minutes. And then after this, we're going to head to the chicken. Well, now my sauce is done. Time to work on the chicken. Step 1, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Step 2, cut your chicken into 4-ounce pieces. Now it's chicken breast, the white meat. Now what I'm going to do is take one of them, place a piece of plastic wrap over it, and I'm going to take this mallet and get some of my anger in there. Really pound it out. I mean, with anger. Ugh, bad day. My dad just growled me. You want to pound it out until it's about, 1/3 to 1/2 inch thick, so it'll cook evenly, side to side, right on the pan. Okay, that looks nice. Okay, so my chicken, I pounded it, it's all nice and flat. Now I'm going to season with about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And whatever you do, don't season like down here. Up here, so you have better surface area on your chicken. And it'll taste better once you cook it. Now, same for the pepper. 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Just kind of like eyeball that there. There. Now, to the stove. Okay, so I got my seasoned chicken. What I have here is a nice, screaming hot cast iron skillet over medium heat with about a teaspoon of oil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pan sear the chicken on one side for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'm going to flip it, cook it on the other side, and cook it for another 2 to 3 minutes. And then we'll do the rest. See, gently place it in. Sizzle. Yes. Okay, so I got my chicken nice and seared, but it's not cooked through yet. Now what I'm going to do is to spoon some of a marinara sauce that we made before right on top of each piece, about a tablespoon, and then sprinkle on the mozzarella. 1/2 cup of part skim mozzarella is the kind of cheese that gives you that stringy factor when you bite into a pizza. Very stringy. Don't try this with whole milk. And I have here a mixture of 1/4 cup of unseasoned panko breadcrumbs and 2 tablespoons of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And then we're going to bake this right in the oven for about 12 minutes or until the cheese is nice and melted and the chicken is cooked through, and then we'll be ready to eat. Okay, so now we're going to place this in the oven. 400 degrees for about 12 minutes or until the chicken is nice and cooked through and the cheese is thoroughly melted and gooey. Okay, so my chicken parm is nicely cooked. The cheese is all melty and gooey. It's time to plate. Thanks for cooking with me today. My name is Tariq. I'll see you next time.